What's up, Alpha? It's your boy Alpha. I'm coming back at you with another video and remind you to keep stomping. Something amazing happened. Today I'm solo. I'm solo dolo today. We had internet problems, so I'm doing it alone today. Hope you enjoyed today. We got a lot to talk about, so we're gonna get into it. Lovecraft Country, episode 7. I am Hippolyta. The episode starts out with Hippolyta trying to figure out what happened with her husband and possibly learning about magic through the globe that is rotating. She's figuring out, she's very smart, by the way. If you notice the episode, she's a highly intelligent woman. And she figures things, and she figures it out very quickly because she's very smart. This episode established that she's very smart, which I think will come into play in the future. We find out that Christina's father. We go back to Christina from episode 5. Christina is back. Her and Ruby is talking. Finally, we finally get back into this storyline a little bit. Christina's father, we find out, killed William, and she wants revenge. And now her and Ruby is like a tandem in a way. No more secrets, no more anything. I'm looking very forward to see what they do with that storyline. It's growing. We didn't get much of it today, so I'm very excited to see what's going on with that. Leti. We go back to Leti. We find Leti. Leti is pregnant unofficially. It's hinted at a lot. She has a dream, the same dream Atticus has, but Leti's dream is officially her burning, just like Atticus had in the previous episode, but he is literally burning. Well, she is burning, except for in this situation, she's actually smiling instead of looking worried. So that's very interesting. By the way, I know we got into it fast. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are on the YouTube channel. If you are now on the YouTube channel, hit that follow button. We have merch, books, and all that in the description. So look forward to that. Follow my host. I know they're not here today, but show some love to them. Yeah, but it's very much hidden that she's pregnant. And they find out she goes to meet Atticus, Tick, and they find out they had the same dream. Yeah, they had the same dream, and it was similar, as I said before, but in this case, it was Leti. The ancestor is smiling instead of warning. So I think that's a little foreshadowing. They're doing a nice job of foreshadowing they did in the episode. And as I said, it hint that she's pregnant. That's hints of how she got that entire situation in the first place, how she could have the same dream as him. Then they go to Montrose's house. You see Montrose with his lover. First time his lover spent the night with him. I have to be honest with you, it had to be terrifying, and I kind of get why he acts the way he does, even though I don't kind of understand it, based on the way the times were. Being black in that time was tough. Just imagine being gay and black during the 1960s or 50s. During that time everything was going on. That had to be terrifying. But yeah, they meet him, and they find out he's gay. Tick asked his dad, did his mom know? He said his mom knew. Tick is going through a lot of different stuff at this point, emotionally. Talking about he got all them whoopings because his dad didn't want him to be soft, wanted to be a man. Hence why he went to the army. All this stuff that his life had led up to come from them beatings he got from his father. His whole issues with his father come from that. So it's a lot of like deep storytelling underneath stuff, a lot of foreshadowing. This episode was mostly foreshadowing. I don't know how much I really don't know how much I liked it though. It was an interesting episode though. I think it's a setup episode. You know how you have them setup episodes? He has a lot of trauma. Talking about, I said because my dad loved me, etc. That's why he did all these things to me, not because of anything else that happened. Because he convinced himself that his dad just loved him for it, right? He just convinced himself that his dad was loving him. And that's the reason he did half the stuff he did though. It really is. It's the reason he did a lot of stuff he did. And I'm interested to see how they're gonna take that in the future and how that trauma gonna come back to affect them. Because you know, trauma like that typically comes back and affect them. Artists like that and people like that, they usually come back and affect them a lot. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. The next happen is we start the main story of the whole episode. Hippolyta, she's going on her own journey. We see that she's leaving her daughter with Ruby. And Atticus shows up. Atticus and Leti shows up. They need a ride to find out more about the Book of Names, because as we see, Atticus is obsessed with finding out the book of what's in the Book of Names and getting more magic and being able to defend itself and all this things that are happening. So they go on in there. Hippolyta says she got her own journey. She ain't worried about y'all. So I understand where she was coming from. So she went and she rode off to her own journey to go back to where they went, where the official globe, where the machine was that they took off. We find out a lot about the machine later, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. We also have Leti and Ruby has a chat, because of course they at Ruby's at the little shop that Ruby is. That you learn a little bit about their personal grudges and other things that they had going on with their family. You find out more information about how Leti actually hated her mom so much that she didn't realize she'll become her. I think that's a big storyline, because they seem to hint that the mama was a terrible person. So in that case, you find out a lot about that. You also find, I think, a lot of the Hippolyta and Ruby's gonna be overwhelmed with power, and they really not seem like they meant for it. So it's gonna make them obsessed, but Tick at the same time is kind of obsessive too. So it's still, they keep indicating that Leti is pregnant and the baby will survive. It's a lot of indications of that. After this we find out Atticus goes on the bus alone while Leti's trying to fix men's things with her sister Ruby. He's looking for the book. He asks the friend, the deaconess, about a little more about her mom and her mom's cousin and how everything burned down, and she don't know what a book is. So they don't officially find the book, but we find out that it's a mark that was on his ancestor's stomach, the same mark he has on his shoulder. We find out about that. I think, like I said, this episode is a lot of foreshadowing. Leti finds the next scene is Leti finds the globe, and let's Tick know that Hippolyta might be in danger, so he got to get there because she's at that museum where they're keeping it at. We see Hippolyta activate the machine and runs into some trouble. She's just doing things again, I think it's a lot of foreshadowing. This episode was great for foreshadowing and actually getting you to know Hippolyta's character, even though I don't know how many people are interested. If you're interested in her character, just let me know. But it's a lot going into that. We find out the police come, they try to abuse her, like, who are you, what are you doing here, etc. A lot of stuff like that. They come in, Tick runs in, saves the day, does his hero thing, and she shoots one police officer, which was interesting because they can get him in trouble, as we saw at the end of the episode. What do y'all think the police officer went at the end of the episode? Because we don't know where he went to. They get sucked into space, and Hippolyta goes into what we think is the future. Seems like she abducted by aliens. She's naked on a table. It seems like she's been experimenting. She got little purple things in her wrist. This again is a reference to H.P. Lovecraft. She meets Future Solange. I like to call her Future Solange. I think she said, "I am." I think like a goddess. I think that's a reference to a goddess from an old story. I want to know what we was questioning at this point what they want. What are the goals? We also find out Hippolyta is smart. She's very intelligent. Her and George, we know, is very intelligent, smart people, had assets and a bunch of other things. Hence how she able to figure out how to control that whole machine and cut it on when nobody else could figure it out, because everybody was trying to figure it out. She's one of the few people that can. We see they experimenting on it. We see she figuring stuff out. She's going through the story. She's figuring things out, she's becoming more intelligent, figuring out how the world works and how things, because she catches on very quickly. Hippo, in this story, she goes into the past and becomes like a dancer. I forgot the name of the person that's done. I usually have this, but I'm alone tonight, so I apologize for that. By the way, if you're enjoying this quick run through today, it's not going to really be a discussion in much because I'm by myself, but it's going to be a quick run through. Anything I know, y'all know, leave in the comments. Tell me what you know. If you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to support your boy, buy it's some merch, and book link is in the bio. So hit that Zelle May link in the bio. I appreciate you very much. You don't have to, but if you just want to listen, I appreciate it. But if you hit that like button, it hit me a lot. If you on other networks, hit that follow button for a boy. Hit the follow button for your boy. You know what I'm saying? We love that here. We getting through it. She's doing. She goes through her transformation. She's talking to these people, the dancers. I apologize for not getting the name of the dancer. That's on me. I'm doing it solo today, so I can't get everything I want, and I'm trying to get through this because I had surgery, so my throat gone. So I apologize for that, but we're gonna get through it. Hippo admits she got some issues. Admits she hates others for making her feel less. She hates herself for feeling less. I feel like that's a hint that she's gonna go psycho in the future, and that feeling's gonna hurt her in the future. And then she goes into an African tribe against colonials in the future, but she's getting trained right now to fight, and she's teaching lessons the whole time, old tribal lesson about how you not free and how they say you free but you not, and how you gotta fight for what you want. A bunch of old historical lessons in her. She's being trained. She ends up, like I said, fighting colonial style fighters. She's ended up cutting the leader's head off, but then a whole swarm came again. I think it's a historical reference. I had no time to check. I will update next week on that. If there was a fight, I think I know which fight it is, but I don't want to give y'all the wrong information, so I'm not going to say it. She then goes to see George again. They would go into the future. I like the way the show implements these poems, these old African poems, the old African American poems, about how being black in America is not real, and how being black is like a mythos, and how it references George is not really there. It's a good way of telling the story and advancing the story. It actually kept me in parts where some parts I kind of got disinterested in because I felt like they went on too long. She meets Am again, which again is a guy that said she said you can stay here or you can go back and handle your business and you won't transform. We find out Hippo went back for D, her daughter. We see the show ends with Atticus actually running around searching for his auntie. He falls out the portal and searches for auntie. So it was a very interesting episode. It wasn't the best episode, but it did what it had to do. It experienced what it had to do. What are your thoughts on it? I really want to know what y'all thought about this episode. Do y'all like it? Do y'all enjoy it? What things y'all thought they could have did better? What things you thought they could have did maybe worse in? I guess a lot to this episode. I really enjoyed this episode, so I want to thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna get back, and Stars is up next, so stay here. I'm gonna get Stars together. I'm gonna get everything together. I mean, not Star Power on Star. So if you're a Stars fan, you can stay and watch that. I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, hit that follow button. I know this episode a lot shorter this week. I gave y'all a quick explanation. This episode was so straightforward. It really didn't need much. I wish I had somebody to discuss it with, but I appreciate y'all for watching. Any comments, leave it on the YouTube channel. By the way, this is live on YouTube every Sunday night at 10:30. We are live. So be there. And I appreciate y'all. We're going to talk about Power in a minute. Hit that follow button if you're on any other social medias. And it's a straightforward episode. Did I like the episode? It was good. It was okay. It wasn't the greatest episode I ever seen, but it was okay. It could have did a lot of things better, but it's improving. That's what we want. It's trying to foreshadow, gave us some hints at some stuff. We got some character development for Hippo, because I think she's going to be an important character later on. That's important. I felt like some parts were a little long in this episode. I didn't have to be, but sometimes it be like that. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Remember, tell someone you disagree with, you love them. We will be back shortly with Power, Book of Ghosts 2. So if you want to stay and watch that, be right here on this channel. Be ready to watch. And I'll see you next week. Hopefully have a better discussion. Hopefully my throat better. I ain't got to do all this. And I can talk longer. So that's why it's shorter this week. I appreciate y'all. Peace.